Welcome to the Albert and Billy Show here on WUAT Radio and Channel 18 Valley TV. How you doing, Papa?
Well, the snow was hard to tromp through for 2 miles. That second mile really gets you.
I know, it's so bad out there, I just tell you.
But
how do we ever make it?
But they had school.
I wonder why. Did they do? Yeah, it is kind of shocking.
It is.
I figured they'd cancel today.
Because it's probably a foot deep on the mountain.
Now he's being sarcastic, folks.
No, I guess I'm just hopeful that with some of the footage of snow will drift down in the valley.
Yeah, I think they are getting most of it on the mountains. We're getting plenty of it. It's just not laying, but it's pretty to look at.
We're not getting plenty of it.
Well, some of it. It was coming down pretty steady a few minutes ago.
On my car this morning, I had a light layer. And I wanted to say to you today that we had a skiff of snow. You wouldn't know what a skiff of snow is.
Explain.
Well,
what is that? I
thought I could look that up in the dictionary and explain that to you. But the only word in my dictionary, and I have a 2-volume set of dictionaries, was a little boat. A skiff is a little boat.
Okay.
So it wasn't in my encyclopedia, but a skiff of snow means just a light dusting.
Okay. Well, that's what it is.
We'll have to say that's pure Albertology, though, because it was not in the dictionary. A trace of snow. We'll say that. A trace of snow.
I always thought you made up your own language. Well, folks, here's some announcements for you. Now, this one will be for radio listeners, but our TV viewers have got to hear us talk about this quite a bit. It's the Ricky Brown Memorial Scholarship Breakfast 2018. It's going to be this Saturday, March 24th from 7 to 10 a.m. at the Sequatchie Valley Electric Co-op. And they'll have scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, gravy and biscuit, fried potatoes. To drink, you can get orange juice, milk, or coffee. If you want to sponsor it, remember all proceeds go to the Ricky Brown Memorial Scholarship Fund. And they'll have a raffle for a hog at 10 a.m. and 1 ticket is $5. 5 tickets is $20. For more info, call Seth Brown at 423-326-5960.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. And also this Saturday, radio listeners, it's a community Easter egg hunt with the Easter Bunny at the Mount Crest United Methodist Church. It starts at 2 p.m. They'll have the Easter story and Easter crafts, a bake sale, Joyous Carol with Wesley and friends, pictures taken with the Easter Bunny, an Easter egg hunt, and cookies and drinks for the Easter Bunny.
And bunnies lay eggs.
Right.
That has to be where they come from. Easter egg hunt. Easter Bunny's going to help him find his eggs. Or her eggs.
Okay.
We're naive that we can believe in things like this.
I know. This proves we want to believe, you know.
I always believed in the tooth fairy, too.
I did, too, for a long time.
Yeah.
And what are we saying? He exists. Of course he exists, kids.
Yeah. Santa does, too.
That's right. The Grandview Pickers will be at the Nickel Road Music Hall on March the 31st. Showtime is 7 p.m. Tickets are $10 at the door. It's a bluegrass and gospel concert. And also, Pikeville Farmers Market. You know, we talked about that last week. That was really successful, you know, this past spring. So that kicks up again this year, Pawpaw, on April the 7th from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. Come out and support your local farmers market. Shop local and support your neighbors.
That'd be a week from this Saturday.
Announcements. Yeah, April 7th.
Good deal. Yeah, I have some announcements. I'm going to make them one at a time. There is a special invitation being given to the people in the area to attend a series of gospel meetings at the Sequatchie Valley Church of Christ, which is located on Highway 30 East And that's right past the Farmers Co-op. You can't miss it, really. It's on your right. It will be from April the 8th through the 11th. And Sunday morning will be 9:30. And that's Sunday school, I guess. And 10:30 is the worship service. And then each night of the week, there will be a service at 7 o'clock. The fellow that's going to be holding these series of gospel meetings is a fellow by the name of Jack Honeycutt. Now, I don't know Mr. Honeycutt, but I do know who's going to be leading the singing. That fellow's name is Harold Cagle.
Yeah, I know him well.
He can sing, too.
Yeah.
A meal will be served after the morning worship service, so everyone is welcome. And if you would like to find more information about it, or if you would like to have a ride, they will provide that for you by calling 447-6711 or 309-2326 or 618-2792. The gospel meeting at the Sequatchie Valley Church of Christ. Now, this is something we need to take note of. There will be a rabies clinic. This is for the year 2018, of which we are in.
Thanks for clearing that up for us.
It's sponsored by the Mountaintop Veterinary Services. Dr. Donna Crow and the Bledsoe County Health Department is in charge of this. It will be Saturday, April the 7th. There will be 2 locations where this service will be rendered. At the Pikeville Elementary from 9 till noon. At the Mary V. Wheeler Elementary from 2 until 3. And these times are all at Central Time. The cost will be $12. Dogs must be on a leash. And cats must be in a carrier. If your cat was like our cat, and you try to get that cat in a carrier,
Cat didn't like it too much.
You're going to get scratched.
Yeah.
The Second Chance Pet Group Spay and Neuter Helpline is still operational.
Producer, try this.
Thanks to the volunteers. Those volunteers are waiting for you to call them. This is in the area of Pikeville and Dunlap Bow to get the schedule fixed. They're working with several vets, so just call them and discuss whether your need be spaying or neutering.
I don't think I have any of that
They
yet.
will continue to assist our community the same way they have for 7 long years. Okay.
7 long years.
The number for you to call is 554-4442. And leave your name, leave your phone number, and the best time of day you would like for those volunteers to return your call. And also, in that conversation, you will let them know what it is you need done to your pet. So if you have a blocking situation with your phone, you have to dial star 82.
There you go.
And the volunteers will try to call and get you all set up. So fix your critter, prevent a litter.
Be part of the solution.
Be part of the solution. I like that. Be part. Solutions are a lot better than problems. These 2 little kids were talking about the test one day at school. And this one little boy said to the little girl seated next to him, "Did you have any problem with those questions?" She said, "Well, no, I didn't." He said, "Well, I sure did." She said, what problem was for me was my answers."
It's a pretty good way to look at it.
Questions weren't the problem, it's the answers.
He was right.
Yeah.
I want to let you know the Bledsoe County Nursing Home is having a bake sale Thursday, March 29th from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. They'll have all kinds of baked goods, including cakes, pies, cookies, breads, and more. Will be available just in time for the Easter holiday. Proceeds raised will benefit activities for the residents. For more info, call Charlotte Evans at 447-5388.
That's good.
It's a good thing they do for the nursing home.
Several of those residents up there, they do a lot of coloring. So they have to have their colors and the subject to color. I have taken some pictures up there for them to color. And also they play bingo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they like to play bingo.
I wonder if they play rook. I bet they do.
I've never seen them play rook. No.
Oh,
but now,
I bet they do.
I'm not there a whole lot.
Right.
But someday I might be there quite a bit.
There was several people at the latest rook tournament. several
yeah.
people. So, you know, come out. They have it once a month at the Nickel Road Music Hall. It's always on a Saturday at 3 o'clock. If you like to play rookie, you need to come out and have a good time. It's a lot of fun.
Well, can you show them your trophy that you won?
Well, it's at the house now.
Oh, it's at the house. I mean, if they could actually see one of the prizes, it would help them to want to participate.
I need to bring a trophy up here and brag a little bit, I guess.
Because you do have to pay $10 a piece.
Yeah, $20 entry fee per team.
Per team,
yeah,
right.
$10 a piece. And they do have food and coffee and drinks as well.
That's good. And it's a good atmosphere.
It is. It really is. It's a lot of fun. And it's good for the town, especially in the winter time.
Yeah.
You know.
You can play rook from 3 to what, 8?
Well, you can do that easy. Easy.
But you got to win. You got to win a time or two to get around to be here at 8 o'clock.
Exactly. You got to do pretty good. Well, you're still not doing trivia, but
yeah. This last week's trivia.
Well, I know, but it wasn't trivia.
Well, it was wise sayings.
Yes. So
you would want me to say them again?
I guess we can.
Well, they were wise.
Yeah. We'll say a couple of them, and then we'll take a break and go to, I guess, this week's wise sayings again.
No, now this week we have got questions.
Oh, good.
Questions.
That's a nice surprise.
I've got enough I can sit here for 3 hours and ask you questions. I stay up till midnight every night trying to find questions for you.
He's being sarcastic again, folks.
But Martin Luther King said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only love can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." And he also said, "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." Those were wise sayings to come out of the mouth of Martin Luther King. Also, George Washington said, well, it wasn't what he said. George Washington was the only president in the history of the United States to not blame the previous administration for what went wrong. Yeah, I thought that was good.
That's real good. That's real good. It's like, gee, wonder why.
I wonder if he really threw that dollar across the Potomac.
I don't know.
I'd like to stand at the Potomac someday and have a dollar to waste in case.
And just throw it across
see
there.
if it would go across there.
That'd be really hard to do, though. Throw it across the Potomac River. You can throw it in the Potomac River very easily.
Helen Keller, you remember her?
Yes.
Helen Keller said, "The best and most beautiful thing in the world cannot be seen or even touched. It must be felt in the heart."
And she, you know, I said last week she would be an expert on that, obviously.
Yes.
It's amazing what all she accomplished.
The things that she accomplished with the help of her mentor.
Yeah.
That's what was able to break through to communicate. It would be a terrible situation. Well, for instance, when the first people came here to America, supposedly Columbus did.
Yeah.
How do you communicate with the Indians? I wouldn't know their language, and they sure wouldn't know mine.
No, I don't know how they pulled that off.
Maybe you held out a plate full of food and let them smell of it. And then you said, "I would like to take."
I mean, that's pretty interesting. I've never really thought about that. That's interesting.
And while you're eating my food, I'm going to take your land.
Thank you. You're welcome. Well, coming up after the break, believe it or not, he's got trivia questions again.
Yes.
So it's back to trivia. That's coming up next right here on the Albert and Billy Show.
Be right back.
Welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show. It's now time for This week's trivia.
And you want to answer questions.
Yeah, he's brought the trivia back.
But I want you to understand, I'm not trying to bumfoozle you. I'm not trying to make you look bad. I just want to ask the questions for the general public.
In other words, they're really hard this week. That's a polite way of saying it's what you're doing.
I want the people to have something to wrap their minds around while they're watching our program instead of laughing at us.
Okay. That'll never happen.
Well, they look at me. Okay.
And we need to tell everybody, Albert and Billy's show now on YouTube. Go to Channel 18 Valley TV's YouTube page, and all of our episodes are on there now. So go to Channel 18 Valley TV YouTube, and you can see all of our episodes on
all
YouTube.
6 of them?
Yeah, right.
Let's try 76.
76.
76. How much longer can we do this?
We're getting close to 100, aren't we?
Well, we're 3/4 of the way there.
Yeah.
A little past,
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, here's this week's trivia questions.
Okay.
Question number 1. What famous battle back in 1836, I know that's a long time before you were born,
That's a long time before you were born.
come to think of it, you're right.
Yeah.
Saw James Bowie and Davy Crockett, two of the most famous frontiersmen in history. Both of them were killed in a battle fighting an opponent. I want you to tell me who the enemy was and where the battle was fought. But it took the lives of not only James Bowie, for whom the Bowie knife is named,
Okay.
and Davy Crockett. Both of them lost their lives in that battle. So who were they fighting, and where did the fight take place?
I'm going to say the fight somewhere in the South. Am I close?
Well, yeah, you're close.
Tennessee.
No.
Kentucky.
You're just
At
guessing.
least tell me the state. North Carolina.
Texas.
Okay, now maybe I know it.
Okay.
Davy Crockett got killed at the Alamo.
At the Alamo, you're right. That's where the battle was fought. So who were they fighting?
Oh, man.
Who's below Texas?
Mexico. They were fighting Mexico.
Santa Anna was the general of the Mexican forces.
Yeah.
Guess who lost the fight?
Santa Ana.
No.
Oh, Davy Crockett.
They overran him,
That's
killed
right.
and killed everybody.
So Davy, I forgot about him dying at the Alamo.
Well, Davy and James Bowie both.
Mm-hmm.
They fought till they could fight no more.
Literally.
Yeah. Okay, question number 2. What term is used to describe the output of a light bulb?
What term is used to describe?
How do you describe the size of a light bulb other than the size? When you go to buy a light bulb, you would say, well, I want a certain kind of bulb. What term is used to give you the size of a bulb's emitting light? You can buy a 25, you can buy a 60, you can buy 75, you can buy 100, you can buy 150.
I know, I can't think. Watts.
What? Yeah.
There we go.
Now, was that hard?
No, I just couldn't think of it there for a minute.
I didn't think it was hard.
No, that wasn't too
I think
bad.
this is really rather elementary.
No, listen at you.
Who is it that used to say elementary, dear Watson?
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock
Fun
Holmes.
fact, that quote was never actually said in the books. It was only said in the TV shows and movies.
In the TV shows. Well,
Our
I've heard it.
producer-
I have heard it.
Our
Okay.
producer's a Sherlock Holmes fanatic, isn't she?
No, she's a historian.
Yeah.
I got $4,000 for it. I ought to be.
Yes, you should be.
Well, I bought her a magazine, nothing but Sherlock Holmes.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Okay, third question. A four-letter word for the area ducks love to be is on a... Where do ducks love to be?
Well, on a pond.
On a pond. That's 4 letters.
Oh, there we go.
These are so simple. That's the reason I don't like to do questions.
Whatever.
Fourth question.
I like it when they're easy.
If gator is short for an alligator, what does the gator's cousin go by?
Crocodile.
Croc.
Croc. Yeah.
Croc. Crocodile. Give me a 3-letter word for a fish to be.
A fish to be. Tadpole.
That's a frog. That's a frog.
Fish to be. Oh,
Hard question.
you're making my head hurt. I can't think of it.
Name a tense, T-E-N-T, tense identity when you use only 3 letters to describe one of them.
A tent.
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 Like you would sleep in if you
Oh.
were out camping outside.
Okay, and what's the question again about the
A
tent?
3-letter word that will identify one kind of a tent.
3-letter word.
3-letter word. And you would know what kind of tent it was by putting those 3 letters together to spell a word.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's hard, isn't it?
That is a little tricky there.
It's not tricky. It's just simple. You're
Well,
just
it's
not
too simple.
Too simple. All right, let's go on to the next one.
Crap.
Tell me the word in 5 letters that you stock your workbench with. It's a word and it has 5 letters, and this word would be what you would put on your workbench. What would be on your workbench?
On your workbench. Five-letter word?
What would you keep on a workbench?
Tools.
Tools.
There we go. Finally.
Too simple, isn't it?
Yeah, they're so simple, they're hard.
But a workbench,
Yeah.
got to be 2.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that, but I didn't want to guess wrong.
Okay, next question. Describe the black gem using 4 letters.
The black gem.
Black gem, like a diamond and an opal and
Oh,
sapphire and
it's 4 letters.
4 letters describes a black gem. It's the only black gem I know of.
I don't know. I'm not even going to guess because I don't want to
Next
sound
question.
stupid.
Next question. If you know what the 4-letter word mire is, M-I-R-E, give me a similar word with 4 letters also that begins with the letter M. If you know what a mire is, M-I-R-E, give me another 4-letter word that will put you in the same situation as a mire is.
Does it start with an M too?
It starts with an M. So all you got to come up with is 3 letters. I'm giving you one.
A-R-E.
You know what that spells?
Yeah. Because I can't think of it.
Oh mercy! But
Oh,
you
my
do know,
gosh.
you do know what a mire is? M-I-R-E.
I don't know for sure.
You get stuck in the mire, mud.
Oh, okay.
So there is another word that begins with the letter M that describes the same situation you would be in if you're in a mire. M blank blank blank.
Mush.
Not mush. Muck.
Dang it.
M-U-C-K, muck.
Crap.
Last question. Boy, I'm glad these are over. This is why I wanted to use why says.
Well, I'm a little rusty. It's been a while.
Okay, if WT is the abbreviation for weight, and LB is the abbreviation for pound,
Right.
what do the two letters OZ stand for?
Ounces.
That was too easy.
There we go. No, it wasn't. It was just right.
Just right.
It was just right.
Too easy.
Absolutely.
Too easy, too easy. Boy, next time you're going to get some hard
I
ones.
don't have our list up with us today of sponsors, but the Pig and Catch is back. Thank you, Buddy and Betty. Pig and Catch on North Main Street. I'll get you some good barbecue. Scotty's, of course, home of the Scotty Burger. Subway on the Bypass. The offices of Janice Sapp, Michael Walker, and Emma Boynton. The Loom, our friendly neighbor that's been here forever on Cumberland Avenue, right next door to us. The Loom, owner Judy Yates. And then right behind us is the Farmhouse Cafe, Chandelier, and Gifts. I want to thank those lovely ladies also. And Rustic Roots. And remember, you can get a massage up there now.
I need one.
Yeah, I do too.
How about
Bilbrey Insurance. Thank you, Frank and Susan. Bilbrey Insurance over on Spring Street. And it's Lola's. Lola Sales. Go check out her shop, folks. It's a really nice shop right here in downtown. Everybody needs to go check it out.
I bet you she's got things she doesn't know she's got.
Probably. She's got all kinds of things in there.
Posh Beauty Company?
Posh Beauty Company, owner stylist Erica Bice Campbell, right here on Main Street at the old State Farm Insurance building.
Have we got anybody down the road a little way?
The Highway Department, Marvin Smith and the Highway Department. Thank you, Papa.
Well, what about, there's another insurance company, didn't it? Judy, you mentioned?
Not right now.
Okay, well, what about the place where you eat at on the bypass?
Done said it, Subway.
Oh, yeah, you got Subway. Subway and Scotty's Bow.
I sure did. That's it, yeah. Thank you, guys.
We appreciate every one of them.
That's right.
And the money they pay to watch us.
Well, it is time now for sports of all sorts.
Sports of all sorts. Well, guess
it's
what?
It's a bad time.
Guess
a bad
what?
time to be a Tennessee fan.
Yeah, but we want to talk about the big dance.
I'm just saying, like, it's a hard time to be for Tennessee. They stink at everything right now.
Well, now wait a minute. The NCAA.
No, the men still overachieved when you think about it, and they lost a heartbreaker.
Well, they were there at the big
yeah.
dance, tooth and toenail. They were in it. The first game,
Should've won
scored
the
100
second.
points.
Yeah, they
Scored
did great.
100 points.
They did great in the first. Oh wait, that's the girls that done that.
Was it the girls?
Yeah. Now they underachieved.
Yeah, it was the girls.
They underachieved bad.
But
Lost
we
for the
beat-
first time in Knoxville. The first time in the NCAA tournament in Knoxville. Another record that Holly ruins. And boy, they are calling for her head right now.
But now
they really want her
didn't
gone.
we win one game?
Yeah, against Liberty.
So we won 57 games in a row before we lost one on our home court. So we're really 57-1 now.
The only record left that she can damage is Tennessee's the only team to make the tournament every single year. To give her enough time and she'll run that too.
Well, gone are the Final Fours. Gone are the Elite Eights.
Now going to the Sweet 16.
Gone to the Sweet 16s.
What else does Fulmer need? Fulmer needs to get off his butt and do something.
Well,
he does.
in today's paper, Mark Wiedmer had an article.
Yeah.
And he was pointing out all these things that we never have faced before.
Yeah.
And he said that Tennessee women's team started out 15-0.
Yeah.
But the last
10-8 though the rest of the season.
The last 18 games we won 10 and lost 8.
That's pitiful.
And that was not a good record.
No.
But he further said that Phil Fulmer will be the one, since he's the athletic director, to sort through all these and weigh all these issues about 57-1 now instead of 58-0.
Yes.
And leaving the
exits.
scene of the big dance early.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row. Never did that before.
No.
So it befalls him, it's his responsibility to weigh all this and come up with a solution.
And he better come up with something or they'll be calling for his head too.
Here's what Mark Wiedmer said.
I think he said he can give her another year and her contract will run out or something.
Well, she's got 1 year left on her contract.
Yeah, but they need to just...
And she makes $700,000 a year.
Talk about overpaid, you don't do anything.
Okay, this is what he says. It will be up to him because it seems like we are drifting further from a return to the Final Four than drawing closer.
We are.
So Fulmer's decision seems clear.
Yeah.
It's when he makes it that remains uncertain.
You're right.
He is saying, the handwriting's on the wall. Phil Fulmer should do it now is what he's saying.
That's right.
But he's leaving room there for the door to stay open a little bit for at least 1 more year.
Yeah. And I don't know why it'll just be another disaster of a year.
Well, don't you think it's because of all the years she served the University of Tennessee, 27 years as assistant coach?
I think that's why she's not been fired sooner.
Yeah,
but enough's enough, though. I mean, she's going to run it in the ground if they keep letting this go on.
But we've got a number 3 signing class coming in, Billy.
But they don't come, and they won't leave. If they get a new coach, they won't leave. They're not coming for her. They're coming for Tennessee. Yeah.
Well, the possibility of playing in front of 21,000 people is an allurement that would cause some players to want to perform in front of that many people instead of 5,000 or 3,000.
Yes. And attendance is down this year. They think that's fans making a statement. It's down dramatically.
Well, that's not fans making a statement. That's economics teaching you a lesson.
Well, yeah, but I do think
you've got to have income to run a program.
You do.
Of course, football is what generates the flow of cash in Tennessee.
Yeah, but they can't afford a drop off that significant, though. It's pretty significant.
And of course,
they used to lead the nation in attendance every year. Now South Carolina's took that position.
And you know what? Speaking of the ladies basketball team, we beat South Carolina 2 out of 3.
Yes, without their best player, though.
Yeah.
When they had her, they beat us.
That little 3-letter word, Aja, boy, she made a difference.
She's good. She's real good.
But back to the men, we won 73-47 over
Wright State.
Wright State. But then we ran into somebody. What was that other team's name?
Loyola of Chicago.
Eddie Albert told me, he said, "Daddy, I'd rather be anybody," because they had already upset Miami.
No.
But still, the score was 63-62.
Oh yeah, on a last-second desperation shot that had no business going in. It even bounced. It bounced up and went in. I watched it. It was hard to watch.
But you know what? The difference was in the score being 63 in their favor and 62 in our disfavor. They had a chaplain. Yeah. They had a chaplain. She's 98 years old.
I know. They're good luck charm, they say.
Well, she said her name is Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt.
Okay.
And she said, God is on our side.
I think he was.
She said it.
I think that last shot was definitely an answered prayer, Papa. because it had no business going in. And it literally bounced, you know. I was like, oh man, what a tough way to lose.
But you're not going to go very far in the SEC scoring 62 points.
No, no.
And nor the women can't go very far scoring 59 points.
No, they just played good that one quarter against Oregon State, and then they fell apart. And I don't see how Holly, ever since she's been coached, she cannot make adjustments to a zone defense. Other teams, all they play is zone against Tennessee now a lot of times because they know Tennessee can't do nothing.
Well, we haven't been able to solve it.
No.
And you know what? She's still saying we've got to figure out a way to get better. The season's over.
Yeah, that's a terrible answer. And she got in more hot water because of her press conference.
That press conference, she said it's not about winning or losing.
Yeah.
Whoa.
How stupid are you, woman? Literally.
Not about winning.
She's an idiot.
I think what she was saying, I want all the parents on my side because I want these young ladies to be well-rounded in life. I don't care whether they can play basketball or not. I just want to be a good citizen.
Well, you go on out, Holly, and you be a good citizen and let Tennessee get somebody that knows what they're doing. If she loved the program so much, she would step down because she's an embarrassment to it right now.
Well, another thing that Fulmer has to consider, along with all these other records, Oregon State had never defeated Tennessee before in its history.
I know.
Never had.
I mean, she's lost to Alabama 4 times in a row now after Tennessee beat them 40-something times in a row. Well, she's breaking records all right, but they're not records you want to break.
No, so these are things, that's the reason you have an athletic director.
Well, he needs to get off his butt and do his job.
And the thing about an athletic director, Fulmer found this out.
Mm-hmm.
He got the axe.
Yeah.
The person, it's like back in World War II. Harry S. Truman, we went to his home and went to his museum, and he had a little sign on his desk that said, "The buck stops here." Mm-hmm. I've often heard that, but I saw it.
It stops with him.
And what he was saying was, yes, back there in 1945, I made the decision to enter atomic warfare. It was my decision.
Right.
But he said, I feel like it was the right decision to make to preserve life by ending life of the enemy.
Yeah.
So he dropped one atomic bomb on one city. The 2 cities were Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Yeah.
And one bomb didn't bring them to their knees, but the second bomb did.
The second one sure did.
But anyway, what I'm saying is that's the place Phil Fulmer's in. He's the one that's going to have to call the shots.
Well, he needs to do it, or it's going to be he's going to be unpopular too.
I don't know that it's going to be done this year. That's what Mark Wiedemer was saying.
About.
But you don't know.
No.
See, that's Phil Fulmer's the one that has to go home at night and wrestle with this.
Well, anybody with common sense, including him, knows that it's not going to get better under her. So why not do it now before the program is too far gone?
Well, it's not too far gone yet. Tennessee,
but it will be.
The men and women both were tied at number 13 in the nation. How many teams would be tickled to death to win 25 games a year?
A lot of teams.
Many of them.
When you're the winningest program ever, though, it's not good.
But the biggest upset, the biggest news in the tournament was the number 1 seed Virginia.
I know. I could not believe that.
Beat by number 16 seed.
I still can't believe it. Still can't.
They lost their next game, but they won. They beat them.
And what about Buffalo, men and women, in the Sweet 16?
Sweet 16.
Buffalo. Really?
You're not trying to Buffalo me, are you? In golf.
So their fans are probably going crazy.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
In golf, we had a tournament. The Arnold Palmer Invitational was held over the weekend. And Rory McIlroy hasn't been heard from in months and months and months. And he decided to make his presence felt. And he decided to go out and win that tournament, and did. He pocketed $1,300,000 along the way.
Poor fella.
But here's the thing about it. Tiger Woods is back. Really. He shot 4 rounds in the last tournament below par, and he shot 4 rounds. And he had a chance. He had a chance. And he wound up in 4th place, but close. So the people on the course that tries to pick out somebody to follow because you got to watch somebody playing. They have chosen Tiger's back. I want to watch him.
Oh yeah, that's why all the tournaments want him.
Let me tell you, it's just a different ball game when he's on the field. When he's on the course, rather, not the field.
Definitely.
But Tennessee women wound up with 25-8, and the men wound up with 26-9, I think.
Yeah, but theirs was unexpected. They're much better coached than the women are. So I think they'll even have a better year next year.
But they should have gone a little deeper in the tournament.
Oh yeah, I was excited about them. I thought
they only
could make
had 2 players in double figures for that game.
Well, they decided to play late in the game. That's when they decided to start playing, and it was too late.
Too late.
They should have played like that the whole game.
But of course, I believe Sister Dolores Schmidt had a lot to do with it.
I'm starting to think so too.
She sat over there in that wheelchair just looking so serene, like, I don't care if they're ahead right now. God's on my side. We're going to win.
I wonder what she says when they lose.
It was God's will.
Yeah. I guess that's what she says. Well, that's it for sports. We'll have next week more about March Madness. It'll be winding down to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4. We'll have those results for you next week.
But we can say with all authority, Tennessee will have neither team participating.
Yeah. Tough time to be a UT fan. Tough time. All we can do is hope and pray things get better.
But we weren't one and done.
No.
We're not one and done.
No. But still.
But what about Kentucky? What if they were to win it all?
I know. I told you they'll make a run in the postseason.
Not even ranked in the top 25 in the nation.
Yep.
And here they are still competing.
I know it. I had a feeling they would, though. It's Kentucky.
Wow.
You can't ever count Kentucky out, ever.
Well, you know what that proves? A great team in its tradition can cast an aura over the rest of the teams, and they're scared of them.
That's right.
They think, hey, that's Kentucky.
That's right.
Well, I can't beat them.
Exactly.
So Tennessee's going to be that way in football.
I hope so. I hope so. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, coming up after the break, it'll be Albertology coming up next. Welcome back to the Albert and Billy Show on WUAT Radio and Channel 18 Valley TV. It is time for Albertology, Papa.
Good deal, good deal. I'm glad you didn't omit me from the program today.
When have I ever?
In case anybody out there is wondering, I'm Albert and this is Billy. Way back.
I think they got that by now.
Way back in 1954, on the 6th day of May. Excuse me.
You want to get you a drink?
There was a mythical, magical record of never having anyone to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. It had never been done. But an Englishman by the name of Roger Bannister struck out that day with a goal in mind of running a mile in less than 4 minutes. And he did so. He recorded a time of 3 minutes, 59 and 4/10 seconds. So he broke the barrier that had stood since time immemorial. His record only lasted 45 days. In 45 days, an Australian by the name of Landy, he recorded a time of 3 minutes and 57 seconds, 0.9. So that record that had stood so long just lasted 45 days.
Yeah.
What it did, more people had climbed Mount Everest than had ever broken a 4-minute mile.
Mm-hmm.
But what it did, it proved that it was not a physical barrier. it was a psychological barrier. People just understood you don't run under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So they just took it for granted. I can't, and didn't try.
Right.
But he set out to try that day, and he did. Currently, the record is held 3 minutes and 43.13 of a second, and it was set back in 1999.
In 99?
That's 45 years later. The record that was set. So
that held up pretty dang good there, Papa. The second one did.
But anyway, Roger Bannister, and he died this month.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he died this month, 4th day of March.
Oh, okay.
I think he was 88 years old, something like that. But anyway, now, second...
He should have been proud, I'm sure he was.
Second thing I want to talk about. If Tennessee basketball coach, Mr. Barnes...
Rick Barnes,
was fired from the University of Texas a few years back. He'd been coached there for 17 years. He's been coached at Tennessee now for 3.
Mm-hmm.
He went there to Texas 17 years prior to his firing. His record was an average of 23 wins per year and 6 losses. That was his average for 17 years.
That's pretty dang good.
Who replaced him? Do you remember?
Shaka Smart.
Shaka Smart's still there.
That's his name, Allie.
Why is she laughing?
That's the name.
Maybe it's Shaka. Shaka Smart.
It's Shaka. Yeah, you called him Shaka last week.
But now listen.
I don't know why I didn't correct you. I just kept letting you say it.
You don't correct me.
Good old Shaka Smart.
Shaka Smart.
Yeah.
Okay. This year his record is 18-13.
Yeah, I'm having a feeling they're regretting that one. Because now he's been there for 3 years and hasn't done squat.
Well, Barnes wound up this year with 26-9.
Yeah.
And Smart wound up with 18-13. By the way, the record that Shaka holds for the whole term that he's been there at Texas is 49 wins and 48 losses.
Oh, that's bad.
Don't you know that if you were one of the brass that had the brass to fire Mr. Barnes, don't you think they've got some second thoughts now?
Guaranteed.
Guarantee.
Yeah, they're regretting that. They may not own up to that, but they're regretting it.
Well, you'd have to go figure.
Yeah, common sense tells you that.
Barnes started that. Now, again, let me say, last year he had, 16-16?
Yeah.
But this year, 26-9?
Yeah. And next year should be a good year, too.
They
get most of them back, if not all, so should be another good year for them.
Should be a good year. And I would think that our recruiting will improve.
It will.
Based on our performance this year.
Yeah, I think it'll get much better.
Okay, third point I want to make today. If President Trump is looking for a warm and fuzzy cost-saving plan, he might want to follow the example of President Woodrow Wilson. Back in 1918, he imported a flock of sheep to manicure the South Lawn to cut back on expenses because we were in a world war. World War I. And so by bringing the sheep in to eat the grass, that freed up people that they were paying to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
So that cut cost. In addition, he was able to sell the wool off the sheep when it was time to shear the sheep, and the wool brought $53,000 to give to the Red Cross. In today's figures, that would be $850,000.
Man, that's a lot.
So Trump, are you listening?
Yeah, exactly.
That would be some.
It's a good idea.
And I had a picture of him out there on the lawn with the sheep out
You
there
did?
during their grazing and everything.
Oh, I wish you'd have brought that.
It would have been interesting. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Okay, the fourth thing I want to talk about is Muhammad Ali.
Why are we bringing him up?
Muhammad Ali defended his title. He had the heavyweight title of the world.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, do you remember when he was given the chance to carry the torch for the Olympic flame in Atlanta?
Yeah, I think vaguely.
He was the last one to carry the torch into the stadium and light the torch. Do you ever watch Jeopardy?
Sometimes.
Alex Trebek got to carry the Olympic torch one year, and I guess that was the year. And he told it on television.
So 96.
He told it last night on television, and he said he got to keep his torch.
Really?
Because he just passed the flame on to the next bearer.
Right.
And they took it from there on. But Alex said, I've still got my torch.
I don't blame him.
But anyway, Muhammad Ali defended his title in 1964 against Sonny Liston. Then his second defense was called the Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That was against
Foreman.
George Foreman. That was in 1974.
Okay.
Then, in 1978, he defeated Leon Spinks in New Orleans, and he reigned as heavyweight champ for 14 years.
That's impressive.
That's impressive. Okay, I'm through with that now.
Did that just come to you, or did you see that somewhere?
I just saw that somewhere, and I thought that'd be interesting to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like his birthday or, some special occasion. Okay.
No.
All right.
I just read it, and I like it. And you know what? Muhammad Ali was a flamboyant character. He had charisma. Of course, he was not bashful.
No.
He said, I'm the greatest.
Yeah, he did. Now he suffered. Well, he passed away, didn't he? He suffered from Parkinson's.
Parkinson's. Okay. Ask Marilyn.
Uh-oh.
These are usually hard. She was asked the question by Lisa Vogt of McLean, Virginia, VOGT.
Okay.
Her question was, why isn't there a universal sign language? I understand that even people from the United States and the UK cannot understand each other in sign language.
Now that is strange. I didn't know that.
Okay, here's her answer. There is no universal sign language. Several hundred exist. For much the same reason, there's no global spoken language. All languages, including sign language, develop separately in many places around the world, where they are currently learned, used, and taught to the next generation. Trying to promote any particular sign language, or even worse, create a new one, to become universal wouldn't be any more welcome than attempting to encourage a universal spoken language. How are you going to do it? God dispersed the people at the Tower of Babel.
Okay.
And they never understood each other after that. All the languages came into play then. All the peoples of the world came into play then.
That's amazing.
God dispersed the people there when they all got together and were going to build a tower to heaven.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, listen, Billy, listen.
I am.
I didn't have that written down. Next Wednesday will be a civil rights landmark. They've been talking about some civil rights issues at school, and next Wednesday will be the 50th anniversary of the death of Martin Luther King Jr.
Wow.
When he was assassinated on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, during a visit there where he was supporting the sanitation workers on strike. I don't guess you remember that.
No, and I forgot that he was killed in Memphis. I forgot about that.
1968. Today, the former motel is home to the National Civil Rights Museum. And this is very interesting. Listen. Much of the building has been renovated, of course, to make room for all the artifacts that they want people to see. But room 306, where King spent his last hours, remains as it was on the day he died, down to the unmade bed where he took his last nap.
Wow.
The museum covers 400 years of history, 260 artifacts, 40 films. Visitors can view King's preserved room as it is and sit by a statue of Rosa Parks. Now, the thing about Rosa Parks, her picture's on the wall down there in school. They're studying about this.
Oh, really?
But she was civil rights
It's in the
rioting.
50s.
She was in the 50s.
That proves that it was going on then, too, just didn't get the notoriety.
Well, she refused to get up and give a white man her seat on
She
that
did.
bus, buddy.
She did.
So she's been remembered along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, the museum's Martin Luther King 50 commemoration will culminate in a day of remembrance on April the 4th, which is next Wednesday, with a chorus of bells tolling nationwide at 6:01 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the exact time he was shot.
Oh, okay.
The exact time, 6:01, tolling of the bells. Tennessee has 2 cities of the 10 where it's best to retire if you have $1 million to live on. $1 million.
And Tennessee comes in there with 2 cities. Okay.
If you live in McAllen, Texas, you can live for 42.3 years on $1 million.
Okay.
Harlingen, Texas, you can live 39.5 years. Richmond, Indiana, 39 years. Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Kalamazoo.
I've always heard of Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
38 years. Cleveland, Tennessee.
Cleveland.
37 years. Martinsville, Virginia, 37 years. Knoxville, Tennessee,
Knoxville.
36 years. Ashland, Ohio, Jonesboro, Arkansas, and Norman, Oklahoma.
Got
But
2 college
you've got to
towns
have
on there.
$1 million, though, in the bank to live that long.
Right.
And you don't ever have to work anymore.
That's, I wonder how they figure that up. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
And you
isn't
do
it?
have 2 college towns on there. Knoxville, obviously, and Norman, University of Oklahoma.
Norman, that's good. Several of those are in the South, aren't they?
Several.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the thing about it is,
All but 2. All but 3.
you got to have $1 million.
Right. Right.
I want you to listen to what lawyers may have gone to graduate school, but their rigorous education hasn't stopped them from asking these bizarre questions of witnesses in court. These are actual questions recorded on tape in courtroom scenes where lawyers ask them.
Okay.
Forgive me, Howard. Forgive me,
I don't know what he said at first.
Howard. Here's the first question. A lawyer said, "How many times have you committed suicide?" What is scary about that? What if they answered him?
That would be real bad there.
They've got to still be living or they wouldn't be there to ask the question.
True.
Second question, was it you or your brother who was killed? Oh, me. Third question, do you have any children or anything of that kind?
I can't believe they're asking these questions.
These are recorded. Without saying anything, tell the jury what you did next. How you going to do that?
That'd be pretty hard to do, folks. That'd be really hard to do.
The last one. Was that the same nose you broke as a child?
Sure.
And
No, they grew a different one.
smart people do the dumbest things. Politicians and bureaucrats.
Uh-oh.
Government has never been accused of being a well-oiled machine, as this headline
No.
from The Independent suggests. U.S. government memo The danger of leaking to media has been leaked. Here are some examples of the bureaucracy running mighty creakily. Number one, file these recent National Institutes of Health expenditures under, did we really need to study these? Here's the first one. $230,000, the money that the National Institute of Health supported group spent to find out that the color red made female monkeys amorous.
Yeah.
$230,000. Our government, that's my tax dollars.
Yeah. That is ridiculous.
But I've always wondered if the color red made a monkey amorous.
Oh, yeah, that's, you know, we're all just waiting, anticipating for that now.
The National Institute of Health spent $5 million to give a grant to Brown University researchers for a study that reported, in part, on whether fraternity and sorority members like to drink more than the average undergraduate. And they came up with an answer.
They did?
They can. Fraternity members and sorority members can drink more than the average student in college.
I believe that. I believe that. Of course they can.
Money well spent. Now we know.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just staying up at night wondering about that now.
And this is just 3 or 4 that they've written down here. There's no telling how much is wasted on stupid things. It says dumb things.
They're very dumb.
$150,000 is the sum that went to the National Science Foundation to investigate why we're so stressed out by politics, when most every American would have gladly supplied the answer for free.
You got that right. They didn't have to spend any money for that.
No.
I can't believe that.
But that's our government.
That's the government for you. I just can't believe that.
But you know, our politicians are probably listening to us and they're thinking, well, why are you making fun of us? Okay.
Well, hopefully they're not doing stuff like that. That's crazy. That's some of Washington's finest right there, let me tell you.
A guy suffering from a miserable cold. These are from, what's her name? Magazine.
We've said it so many times.
A guy suffering from a miserable cold begs his doctor for relief. So the doctor prescribes pills. But after a week, the guy's still sick.
Okay.
So the doctor gives him a shot. But that doesn't help his condition either. Okay, this is what I want you to do, says the doctor on the 3rd visit. Wonder he hadn't died.
For real.
Go home and take a hot bath, then throw open all the windows and stand in the draft. I'll get pneumonia, protests the patient. I know, but that I can cure.
Shoot.
Can't do anything about that cold.
That was pretty good, Allie.
I intend to live forever. So far, so good.
Right.
All right.
Says life.
Let's
see there, life.
Life in these United States. When my wife said that she was going to purchase a lottery ticket for the upcoming $200 million drawing,
That'd be nice.
I sarcastically responded, yeah, let me know when you win.
Exactly.
With a side glance, she replied, oh, I'll leave you a note. Gone!
That probably wasn't the answer he was expecting, was it?
No. Listen, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much.
There's some truth to that.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. These are gripes from a grocery industry level.
Well, these should be pretty good then.
If there's one thing I am good at, it's putting reusable bags in the car and driving them to the store and then not taking them inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I can
Did
remember,
all that for nothing.
I can remember one year that times got so hard that the grocery warehouse where we bought groceries advised us to beg customers to bring the brown paper bag, the big bag, back to reuse. They said, tell your customer to bring their own bag back with them and they'll put their groceries back in them again.
Man.
I'm not kidding. I don't remember how long it lasted, but I remember it.
Wow.
Of course,
Times were hard then.
well, it was 100 years ago, I guess. Carrots. Carrots are a great thing to eat when you're hungry and want to stay that way. Well,
That's very true. So is cereal. Same way, same way.
Patricia and I had a bowl of cereal the other night for supper.
You're-
That's all we had, a bowl of cereal. I was hungry the next morning, man. I was ready to eat
Oh, I would say
an
so.
elephant. When I see a man wearing his wedding ring, it tells me he has a soft and private spot reserved for someone special.
Mm-hmm.
One more from, and then I want to tell some of mine. To me, the wedding ring stores the memories of all the events, good and bad, over the course of my marriage. Today is our 62nd anniversary, so the memory bank of my ring is many gigabytes.
I bet.
Some people are, I worked at the funeral home for 10 years. Several people have been buried with their ring on. Then I have seen others who choose to remove the rings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why one way or the other, but I have seen it that way.
Here's another grocery gripe. The only time I'm truly present is when my credit card is in the card reader and I'm waiting for it to be approved. Yeah. I'd say a lot of people do that. Almonds are good for when I want to have a healthy snack and want to stop having $12. Good point.
But you know, almonds for many years were slighted, but now they're in everything.
Yeah.
They're in
are.
everything. Milk.
Mm-hmm.
You get almond milk.
Yeah, you can.
And they're in, of course, you can buy the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in cereal.
Oh yeah.
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 They're just very widely used now.
Candy bars.
Yeah.
Almond Joy.
Well, now let me tell you, I like almond joy.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in almond joy and a mound, they're both made of the same company. A mound is dark chocolate, coconut covered.
Okay.
Almond joy is milk chocolate, coconut covered with an almond on, 2 almonds on top.
Well, I vote for the milk chocolate.
Me too.
Yeah, milk chocolate's a lot better to me than dark chocolate.
Okay. This is about a man that was real smart.
The man that is real.
His name was Einstein.
No outsmarting Einstein is what it says.
One day,
Okay.
Einstein was to speak at an important science conference. He has a driver who takes him to all those functions, and it happens that the driver resembles Einstein. I never met Albert Einstein. So on the way to his next meeting, Einstein says, "I'm sick of all these conferences. I always say the same things over and over." And the driver agrees.
Mm-hmm.
"You're right. You know, I always come in and watch your presentations. And even though I don't know anything about science, I've heard you speak so many times that I believe I could give the presentation myself."
Right.
"That's a great idea," says Einstein. "Let's switch places then." So the driver reluctantly switches clothes
Reluctantly, okay.
with Einstein. But Einstein came up with the idea, so let's switch places.
Right.
So Einstein finishes the drive to the conference because they switch clothes. As soon as they arrive, the driver dressed as Einstein goes on stage and starts giving the usual speech, while the real Einstein, dressed as the car driver, sits in the back of the auditorium. And in the crowd, though, there is a scientist who wants to impress everyone with his knowledge. So he thinks of a very difficult question to ask Einstein. And once he poses the question, the whole room goes silent as everyone considers this puzzler, waiting for the response.
Because nobody knows it, right?
So the imposter, Einstein, looks him dead in the eye and he says, "Sir, your question is so easy, I'm going to let my car driver answer this one." I like that.
That's pretty good now. That's
Okay.
a good way to get out of it.
Seamus said this.
Seamus. Okay.
He opened the newspaper one day and he was shocked to see his own obituary.
Yeah, that would be bad.
And in a panic, he phones a friend. He says, "Did you see the paper?" They say, "I died." The friend replies, "Yes, I saw it. Where are you calling? Where are you calling from?" Where are you calling from?
Wow.
All right.
That's funny.
Patty and Mike are walking down the road, and Patty has a bag of donuts in his hand. Patty says to Mick, "If you can guess how many donuts I've got in my bag, I'll give you both of them."
Shoot. Not too bright there, Patty.
Patty. Two Irishmen were working in the public works department.
Okay.
One would dig a hole, and the other would follow behind him and fill the hole in. After a while, one amazed onlooker said, "Why do you dig a hole only to have your partner follow behind you and fill it up again?"
Yeah.
The hole digger wiped his brow and sighed. "Well, I suppose it probably looks odd because we're normally a 3-person team, but today the guy who plants the trees is sick." Isn't that sad?
These are crazy.
I can't believe that somebody would come up with something like that.
I know.
Mr. Murphy walks.
This is the dog walker. Let's hear that one.
Mr. Murphy walks his dog through the village every day. One day, Mr. Murphy is on his walk without the dog. His pal, Mr. O'Connor, sees him and asks, "Where's your dog?"
Yeah.
Mr. Murphy answers, "I had to have him put down." "Was he mad?" asked Mr. O'Connor.
Was he mad?
Well, he wasn't too pleased.
Sure. What a dumb question.
Okay, we got time for one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm noticing a few Irishmen in these.
Yes.
You notice that?
An Irishman goes into a bar and orders 7 shots of tequila and 1 Guinness. I don't know what a Guinness is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know many drinks.
He's going to be really drunk. Let's put it that way.
I've heard of a Mickey.
Well,
I've heard of vodka.
It's not a drink.
Okay, I've heard of vodka.
Oh, yeah. Tequila is a hard liquor.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. How many shots does he get? 7? Yeah.
Is that from
Mexico?
Mexico? Tequila? I had a friend one time that told me that he drank to get the worm.
Yes. Some people do that.
There is a worm.
Yeah.
A worm?
In the bottle, yeah.
And you want to eat it? An Irishman goes into the bar and orders 7 shots of tequila and 1 Guinness. The barman lines up the shots and goes to get the Guinness. When he comes back with the pint, Guinness is in a pint evidently, all 7 shots are gone. The barman says, "Wow, you sure drink those fast." The Irishman says, "You would drink fast too if you had what I have." The barman asks, "What do you have?" Irishman says 50 cents.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good. All those were good. But a lot of Irishmen were the theme today, if you noticed.
Well, here's one quick one.
Okay.
Billy stops Patty in Dublin and asks for
In Dublin, see?
Dublin, yeah. I thought about that when you said that.
Okay.
He asked for the quickest way to Cork, C-O-R-K.
Mm-hmm.
Patty says, are you on foot or are you in the car? Billy says, in the car. Well, that's the quickest way.
Shoot. That must be the same Patty that answered a while ago, or asked the question a while ago.
That must be the names they use.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
That's all of them.
Well, those were pretty good, Papa.
I thought
And
so.
I'm looking outside, and I don't see any more snow falling, Allie.
It's over.
Must be over.
It's over.
If there is any snow on the ground, it is clearly on the mountains and on the higher elevations.
Not on
'cause
this
it's not
mountain. I
here.
don't see over there.
I don't see any on Rigsby Mountain whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
We have a really good view of that. I don't see any. So maybe the snow is over.
We'll have school tomorrow.
Right. All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening on WUAT Radio, and thanks for watching on Channel 18 Valley TV. And as I said, you can go to Channel 18 Valley TV YouTube channel, and you can see all 76 episodes of the Albert and Billy Show. And this one will be 77.
Don't watch them all at one time. You'll get sick and tired of it.
Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week right here for the Albert and Billy Show.
See you, folks.
So long, folks.